Okay, welcome back everyone. Good morning. Today we're going to continue on our applications. In the previous video, we've created the basics. We created some routes, some model. We create the model and the migration that we will use in our application. So we start create the authentication system, and we will start by creating the login system. And for creating the login system, the first thing that we need to do is to go to the route folder and open the web PHP file. Inside this web PHP file, let's delete all of the commented routes, all of the commented that. Let's only leave this one and come here and close the route. And here we need to define a new route that will be reached when the user comes first on the screen. When user log to localhost 8000, we need to display here the login form. So for do something like this, here we already have some routing that exists, but we will change this by creating a new controller. So let's come back here and create a new controller. So let's say we want to create a controller, and the controller name will be login controller, or I prefer call it authentication controller. So inside this authentication controller, we will create different methods. So let's go to the authentication controller that we create. We want to create one method for display the login form and one for display the register form. But firstly, we will focus on the login form. So let's say that we create a function login, and here we want to return a view that are not existing, but this view will be in an old folder, and the file name will be login. So login.blade.php. Okay, and next in the web PHP file, we will replace this route. Let's delete it and create a new route starting by 0. Let's say that we will have some get method, and we want to reach the first URL of the website. And here we want to call the authentication controller, and let's say that we want to call the login method. And here we can provide some name for the route. So let's say the name of this route will be, so name will be application login, or we can say that is only login. So you need to give a good name. So let's say that it will be only login. Let's remove the application. And here, don't forget to import the authentication controller. Because I have an automatic import, is for this reason that I haven't typed it. So if you haven't the automatic import, you need to include the authentication controller web PHP file. Okay, let's save this and try to refresh the app. You will notice that we will find some error. It will say use that some view are not exist. So for creating this view is not a big deal. You need just to go in the resources folder. Inside this view folder, you need to create a new subfolder that I will call auth for authentication. And inside this auth folder, I need to create a new file that I will name it login, and the extension is blade PHP. And if we save this, you will fall on this blank page that appear. It means that our application reached this page. So here we can type here a lorem for verify, and if we type a lorem and we refresh here, we see the lorem test that appear on our screen. Okay, and now we need to design our login form. And for the design the login form, I've already created a login form, and it look like something. It look like this, and I will provide the link for download this HTML file in the description. It's just only one HTML file. When you will download it, it will be like this. And for manage this, we need just to click on Ctrl U. So I will click on Ctrl U to open the screen, and I will copy all of this content. And on the login blade PHP file, I will pass all of the content that I have copied. And here now, if I come here and I refresh, we will see here our design that will appear. So here we have the dashboard and the design appear. So I repeat, I will provide the link for this HTML file inside the description. So you need to go to the description to download this HTML file to have already one login form that exists. So if this is good for you, we can continue. So here we need just to configure this one. So here let's start by remove here the script, and let's leave the forgot password text. And let's come back here, and for the link, let's say that it will not be log seen in, it will be login. So for the input, let's just remove the on focus and on blue because it used JavaScript and I don't want to include JavaScript at this stage. And let's remove the on blue here again. So let's come back here and check about the form. So here we have a body, we have a box. So in the box, let's say that for the box, we want to center the box. So for center the box, we can use the position absolute of CSS. We want to provide the top of this one and the left of this one. And let's say transform, we want to translate and this value. And let's try to refresh to see what we will get. Okay, here we get our dashboard that are center, but this value is stay out, so it's not a big deal. And for the box, let's remove the border because I don't like this border. And for the body, let's remove here the background because I don't want to use this background. I want just to have this blank screen that appear. And let's say that you want to search for beautiful CSS box shadow, and you want to include some beautiful box shadow around our form. So let's delete this one, and let's choose this shadow and apply it to our screen. So here on the box part, so here on the box part, let's apply here this shadow. And here we notice that we have a beautiful shadow that appear around our box. And the next target is to center this login button and remove this value, the forget password, because later we will provide this value. So now we need to remove it. So let's start by removing this part. And the next thing is to center the login. So for center this login, let's say we get this class button, and let's say how we style this button. And we have limited the width here. Let's say that it will be 100%. Okay, so let's come back here, and let's say that it's not this we will modify. Let's say that it will be something like button container. Let's say that it will be button container, and inside this button container we will have this button, and it will be title will be login. Okay, it's good. And now we can start this one. And let's say this button container, first thing to do, we need to check if we reach all of the available space. Let's say background color is red and it's good. Let's add a little padding around this button. Okay, so that is good. And let's say now this button class will be replaced by button value, and this will be, we have some margin, some left margin here, we have this float, and let's remove all of the unnecessary class. And now we have our form that are centered. We have this login, this email field, and this password field. So here let's come here and replace again this value and delete here this value. There's two value. And for the second input, let's give it the name of the type of password, and the name will be password. And let's leave the class like this because the email class is used for styling. Okay, here is good. But now let's come back here and remove this action part because we will use Laravel for provide some action, so you don't need to provide the action. So let's start by including the CSRF token and say that the method that we will send here will be the post method. Okay, and now our login button, we need to give it the type of submit, for say that we want to use it to submit the form. And inside the web PHP file, let's create a new route that will be here. It will be calling post and it will be handle login. And we will call the authentication controller again. And we will call a new method that we name it handle login. And the name of this route will be handle login too. So inside the authentication controller, let's create this. Inside this authentication controller, let's create this handle login method. So let's say it will be a public function handle login, and this function will wait to get the request value, and we will rename it as the request variable. And firstly, let's just make a dump and die to check if we get the correct information from the request. Okay, inside the login blade PHP, where we provide the route, the form, let's say that on the action, we need to reach some specific route and the route will be under login. Now let's save all of this and refresh the app. Let's type some information like admin gmail.com, and for the password, let's type assertive for this moment. And let's click on login to see if we reach this method that we've created on the authentication controller. And let's come here, and if we hit the login button now, we are on this black screen because here we have make some temp and die to take the request. And if we go in the request bar, we will see that we provide some email, some password, and the token. So we can use this request bar to make our authentication.